Hey, welcome everyone to Behind the Boots podcast. I am John.
I am Bobby.
And if you notice, things are a little different.
A little bit different
this week
for episode 25.
Episode 25. We teased it a little bit last week. We have a guest.
We do.
We have a guest.
It's a pretty big guest.
It's
not size-wise, but
no,
like
also,
well,
I've gained weight.
it's okay. He's
it's the COVID 50.
Yeah, it's a COVID
Lot of us.
75.
Yeah.
Dusty Dawgs. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Yeah,
Glad to be
Dusty
here.
Dog. Yeah, if you're
Of course you
thinking-
are.
If you guys are thinking to yourself, is it the Dusty Dog? Yeah, it's that Dusty Dogs,
The Dusty Dawgs.
the one and only.
This guy, first of all, he's a legend. Okay, the guy has eaten more hot dogs than Joey Chestnut. And if you don't know who that is, fucking look it up.
Yeah.
He is a semi-amateur pro golfer,
Very amateur.
amateur pro hockey player, second team
in training.
Second team All-State.
All-State. Yeah,
State
no,
amateur.
second
Division
team.
two.
Division two.
Second
guys.
team
Yeah,
All-State,
not a big
so
deal. Green wave,
There's
boom.
a potential there's
Yep.
6 people better than me if
Okay.
you look at Division 1, then Division
But-
2. There's first team, and then, but, you know,
But
still.
it's he would have been on the
Pretty
ice.
prestigious.
Would have been on the ice.
And when you're in company of that caliber, I feel like you need to dress appropriately.
Well, the most important thing that I didn't mention yet was
You did not mention
he
it.
is also a veteran
Of course,
of our nautical service.
Mm.
This is a sailor.
a sailor.
We've heard about them.
Indeed.
Mythical creatures that wander across the wet shit and go to where they can't see the
go-
dry shit.
They go across the
All
wet.
7 seas.
All 7
Or 4
seas.
oceans, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, well, something like that.
Yeah.
So
What
Some
do you
Lakes.
think? You were there, dude.
I don't know. Because I think the seas, some of them are landlocked, so
yeah,
I don't think we actually go.
and there's not 7 oceans anymore because they don't think
There's
they
4
count.
oceans.
They don't think they count or the
Atlantic,
Indian
Indian,
Ocean. They don't count that
Pacific.
anymore.
Who doesn't count it?
I don't think that.
That's
I-
like-
Was it
yeah.
the same people
It's
who
like
took away
the
Pluto?
planets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
What,
not.
they
You
just-
can't call it the Indian Ocean anymore.
Why?
It's the
It's near
indigenous,
India.
Indigenous Peoples Ocean.
But
I
no,
think.
it's near the country of India.
I think that's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, anyway, listen. Because you're a sailor,
Yeah.
we want you to feel at home.
We
so
do.
we're having a nautical theme today. So we're gonna help you with that. So
Yes.
you would think we should. Yeah. This is exactly what.
Captain
it
of
would,
my first ship definitely
Yep.
wore one of
yep,
those, for
it
sure.
would, it would
With
definitely.
the hair too, right?
Yeah, it would definitely be like this, right? Like this is what a nautical, an
It's
ocean
very
going.
distracting, in a good way.
Yeah.
It is,
Pirate
yeah.
hat. It's definitely
Yeah.
something
Well,
the US Navy adopted.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
gonna start talking to me.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
It just looks like it smells.
it does, savvy.
It's not good. It smells like dried salami and wet cheese.
Yeah,
Well.
and parrot poop.
Now I'm interested.
So, Dusty, thank you for coming on, man. We've had your story shared before on Mail Call. You've been brought up because your hijinks on social media are pretty epic.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I
You-
try. My wife thinks I'm a complete idiot. But
That's par for the course.
Listen, we're gonna get to that later.
Yeah.
We're gonna
That's when the intervention starts.
Yeah, on how you found an angel. We're gonna get to that because someone that married you.
Some people need to know the secret.
There's a lot of people out
A
there.
lot of rope, a lot of duct tape, guys.
So, welcome. You, from what I've seen, longtime listener.
yes, I would like to think I've watched or listened to all episodes. Typically in the shower.
Which is
Kind of.
It's when I get time to myself.
Pretty
I don't
sailorish
commute. I don't
of
drive
you.
anywhere.
You,
so
you touching yourself? When you're with it?
I mean, that's part of showering.
I'm not gonna be mad.
It's
if you
part of
say
showering.
you do.
Yeah,
wow.
all parts actually.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, you gotta wash it all.
You,
Yeah.
you don't want to
Some
miss a.
some
Yes.
things you gotta wash a little faster than others, if you know
It's
what I mean.
true. It's true, and repeatedly 3,000 times.
Yeah.
So fan of the show,
Absolutely.
second guest ever in person. Okay, it's. I mean, you're behind Mike Matros, who had a amazing story about a black rubber dildo putter.
I remember that.
Fantastic. So, you know what the podcast is about. We drink. We tell funny stories about our life and service. We're excited to have someone from the Navy on because there's so many things that we don't know about the Navy, like their acronyms and Just boat shit.
I might not know either, but I'll definitely make it up.
Perfect.
I got a couple questions.
And like if I can,
We'll go through our stuff.
yeah,
we'll go through
debunk
that.
any like myths or anything like that. I'll tell you
Yeah.
about
Myths
them
or
all.
legacy.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, we are Behind the Boots podcast.
We are.
John and Bobby, your co-hosts extraordinaire. What we do is tell funny stories about the military and really get down to what our service members face on a daily basis. You know, either
Really,
on
yeah.
land or on the high seas.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can follow us on Instagram, on
And Twitter. Yep.
At?
Both at BT Boots Podcast, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
They will post it in an episode description. And probably it's posted right now.
Yeah.
It's probably posted even before I started saying it.
As well as you can find us on the Book of Face, known as Facebook, under just Behind the Boots podcast.
Yeah.
That one's newer. We're trying to develop it, so go like, go share, help us out.
Yeah.
Tonight, we are hoisting our giant tankards of beer with Paulaner Oktoberfest. It's that time of year.
It is.
Special time. This is the Paulaner Oktoberfest Bier, 6%.
You know what they say. Whenever it's September, it's Oktoberfest.
Exactly. Which is a common misconception, is Oktoberfest is not actually held in October. It's the celebration going into October of the harvest in September.
I'd like to think it's a celebration of my birth month.
Which is true, is once September 1st happens, you celebrate.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to think that everyone is celebrating my birth month.
I think it's
Absolutely.
daylight savings as well. It's the only. I'm usually in Montreal at that point, and
We got an international traveler.
World traveler.
at one time. But you get if you're there for international or for the daylight savings, you get an extra hour of partying. So if it's like 4 a.m. or whatever the last call is there,
It's like,
you
roll
get
it back.
one extra hour.
Roll it back. That's a lot more poutine to eat.
You have one more hour to celebrate the month of my birth.
Are you?
Is what
It's
you're
also
saying.
true.
Let me just jump in since you
about
mentioned Montreal real quick. When it comes to poutine, are you a purist? Or
I'm gonna be honest. The only poutine I've ever had was from McDonald's. Yeah,
in Canada?
it was in
I was gonna
Montreal.
say,
You know, like
yeah.
the underground mall that they have
The
there.
underground poutine ring.
Mall, yeah. And it was a
Street
buffalo
poutine
chicken
place.
poutine from McDonald's. So
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't
So
really
you're
say
not
I'm a big
traditionalist.
poutine guy.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I love gravy. I love cheese curds, and I love French fries. Why would you not like them all together?
I guess I gotta eat
Gotta
it
have
more.
it. I'm gonna
I don't
little
really eat when I'm there. I'm just drinking.
little
I gotta be
tidbit for
honest.
you. Some of the best poutine I've ever had. The Rinks in Exeter.
They have
It's
it.
really
I
fucking
didn't know
good.
that.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. Very, very good. Do not recommend eating it prior to a hockey game.
Yeah, semantics. It's delicious, both going down and coming up, so it's fine.
It is. It is.
I'm
And
a
then
big
going and then going back down again.
Yeah,
Because you
'cause-
can't throw up on the bench. So you have to like
You have to.
chew it and bring it back down.
I'm a big pre-game Tums guy. In fact,
Ooh, yeah.
I have Tums throughout my life, in my truck, in my golf bag, my hockey
We were
bag,
at
my boat,
we were at
everywhere.
A hockey game last night, and we were getting dressed in the locker room, and he starts handing out Tums, and I was like, "How do you know you're in a fucking locker room in an above 30 men's league when there's Tums getting tossed around instead of like fucking beers or like?"
Yeah, it's probably
There was beer,
because
too.
beers are-
Natty Light, in
There's
fact.
beer, too, Natty Light, which is why the Tums were handed out. So, basically, what we're going to do, because this is a unique episode, right? We've only done this once prior. We're going to let our guest talk for a little bit, right? Maybe.
Yeah, we'll ask him some questions.
Have him talk about himself first, figure out what he did in the military, and then
Yeah,
fire some questions away.
we'll ask him about his supposed military
Yeah.
service.
In the Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
more
there's
than a
not really
day.
going to be any segments on this one. Bobby will read his. He's got a story or two. I'll read mine, and then Mr. Dusty Dawgs has a little something special for us, and then we'll read mail call like we do every week. But a little different setup this week. But I think you all will enjoy it. And if you don't, then I don't know. Suck
Go
a dick.
fuck yourself.
Suck a dick or something. I don't know.
So, with that,
So,
who are you?
Well,
What is it? What is it that you do?
Currently, I eat a lot of hot dogs.
Mm.
I play golf. I go fishing.
Wow.
And sometimes I play hockey.
All professionally.
I like to say semi-pro.
Okay. Pretty
Like-
close. That's really close.
Like, have I gotten paid to do it? Like, well, it's debatable. You know,
Have you gotten paid not to do it?
nobody's paid me not to play yet.
There you go.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I do pay to play golf, so and hockey. I don't know. I don't really know how I define that, but yeah. So I was in the Navy. I spent 4 years in. I was an aviation ordnanceman. So aviation ordnancemen, they build bombs and missiles. They load them onto planes. They account for them. They do a whole bunch of stuff. Pretty much with bombs, missiles, small arms, stuff.
Wow, so they'll just let anybody do that job.
Here's the funny thing. So I did decently good on the ASVAB. When I say decent, I just mean like I was above. Like
You just
I didn't have to join the army.
You automatically, you automatically weren't going to be a Marine.
above stupid.
Right. So I did pretty well on the ASVAB. So they're like, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And I was like,
Can I be an astronaut? Not that.
no. Like, do you have a degree? I'm like, no. In fact, like,
So not that.
I think I was like there's 400 people in my high school graduating class. I was towards,
He was $3.99.
I was down there.
But yeah,
and here's the thing. My best friend was one person behind me. He's in the Marine Corps. So.
but you were an athlete, so you were an athlete.
Yeah,
so.
right. We'll go with that. So they pretty much said like, yeah, you can do anything you want. My recruiter's like, yeah, there's this job building bombs. Like, you should do that. I was like,
to get his
perfect.
quota.
So, but the ASVAB cutoff for that job was relatively low. So okay, so we'll get there about how to build bombs. We won't get into anything too crazy. It's pretty simple, actually.
Hope you guys are writing this down.
But so I only say that because I was surrounded by idiots. Everybody else in my my
so disheartening, dude.
everybody else that did this job, it was kind of like the only thing they could do. I think like
Yeah.
you had to have
They were like I got it.
right. So when it came to like testing and everything like that, I did exceptionally well. Not because I was smart, but because everybody around me was a complete moron. So I actually made rank pretty quick to E5 like in 2.5 years. Which
That's pretty
in the Navy, it's just you got to do a test. There's no PT, thank God. I'd probably get demoted. So I did that for a few years, and then when we'd pull into a port, I would do security. So kind of like the MP thing. In the Navy, they call it Master at Arms. So
They call it shore patrol.
those are the people that are on duty that
Oh,
night
okay.
that actually go out like onto the shore and just like pretty much wrangle up drunk sailors.
It's like every
Get
movie
your
here is
ass
like
back.
shore patrol, run!
Yeah.
Like dudes whacking with like clubs.
Right.
And,
Those people do exist, and they wear their full uniform and they go out into town and everything.
gross.
So I did that for 4 years, then I got out and I was a police officer for 7 years. Which I mean, who let me do that job?
Oh man.
When you say you were a cop, you mean like in Super Troopers, where you're like
You might.
You were legit
pussies on the pavement
on the streets, had a badge. They gave
Oh
you a
yeah,
gun.
like blue
Everything,
I'll send
huh?
you guys pictures.
Did
one
you?
day.
Did
Yeah.
you? Were you like I am the law?
No,
Yeah.
no. I
Well, you missed
I have
out.
incredibly low standards.
Okay.
So
Apparently,
whether
so do our police departments.
right, so like I like to think of myself like I was pretty chill. Like I was just there to like do all the cop stuff. Just protect the vulnerable.
Guys,
right?
just no raping and murdering, okay? Everything else, whatever.
Does all this
so-
cocaine need to go to the property room?
So what was great about it is it was a lot like being in the hockey locker room or even in the military, a lot of camaraderie, and as you guys know, with the tournaments we play in, the police, fire, and military,
assholes.
everybody is exactly like
Bunch of
it's all
cocksuckers.
one big group of
Bunch of assholes.
yeah, pretty much jerks.
Yep.
So I would just mess around quite a bit with the people I worked with more than anything.
Nice. Well, thanks for sharing that about you. Couple quick questions, right? I got some questions. I
Is this
want to
the
know.
hot seat?
This is the hot seat. I want to
Oh
know.
boy.
You can ask the first question. I got a couple. I have two.
Some
I have
doozies.
two like real hard hitting
real
questions. I'll
humdingers?
let you ask the first question.
Okay. So, question number one for me is, why did you join the Navy?
Damn, that was mine.
All right. So as I
have
said,
one hard hitting question.
Should have written these down.
my best friend he joined the Marine Corps, and I went to college for 1 year before I joined.
So you're smarter.
Well, I wouldn't say I failed out, but I didn't complete. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was my choice.
It was like a mutual understanding.
It was mutual. We don't want you to go here. I don't want to
That's
go
awesome
here.
because I really don't either.
It was
so
community
we'll
college,
just
like
call-
literally,
Oh,
like anybody can
nice.
go, right?
Well, obviously not. So, I mean,
Stop killing him.
So I was like, oh, I'm gonna join the Marine Corps. I'm gonna join the Marine Corps. This sounds cool. Like whatever. Talk to the recruiters and everything. I'm like, oh, I'm all about this. Then my mom's like, yeah, I don't want you to go join the Marines. And this is 2005, so there was some stuff happening in the world,
Was
right?
there some shit going on?
Yeah.
Iwo Jima at that time?
Never,
I don't know.
never heard of it.
Some movies. Oh, John Wayne.
So she's like, I'd really rather you not. And one of my uncles knew Navy recruiter, and he's like, "I just talked to this guy." So I went and I had breakfast with this recruiter. I don't remember his.
Did he pay for the breakfast?
I want to say he did.
Did you have an omelet?
I was poor.
Eggs
at this
Benedict?
time, like,
You know.
Was it like a fancy breakfast? And you're like, oh my god.
It was a little diner in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and this is what I remember distinctly about it. Is there was a phone commercial in the background, like, you know, the little TV behind this diner, and it was like the Vonage, like ah ha 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 ha. Like, I don't know if you remember this
I do
commercial from
actually
back in the
remember
day,
that actually commercial.
and I
That's
just
pretty
remember
good.
that commercial going off in the background, and the next thing you know, I was like, yeah, I'll join. Like,
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
I got nothing going on
so
Tuesday.
uh,
Let's do this.
I was like, all right. So then, like,
what did he? Hold on. Did he roofie you into fucking signing this shit?
I was just like, let's go. Like,
Let's do it.
So anyway, so then I spent the next like 10 months in delayed entry program waiting around.
Like, looking for another breakfast.
yeah. I was hit up all the branches.
Talked to the army recruiter.
yeah.
You guys do breakfast? No.
And then,
All right,
and then
I'll
after
come
the
back.
formation, I got like, yeah, I'll go to the Coast Guard. And then like, oh, the Army National Guard. Oh, the Air National Guard. Oh, there's a reserve unit. Oh, there's a reserve. You know, hit everything.
Did they
up.
all do
Yeah, when you get done, there's 37 branches. You
So
get
I was just
37
like,
breakfasts.
yeah, whatever. Like, let's go. So I joined, and
Nice.
it sounded better than the Marines, and the fact that, you know, you'd be like miles away from any real danger.
Because your rank was a seaman? Or...
So here's okay. We're already into the debunking what you think. Because my job was in aviation, I would have been considered an airman, which I know is confusing.
Correct, I get that.
Yeah.
What color shirt did you wear?
Like uniform?
No, like on the flight deck.
Oh, red.
Okay.
Red. Yeah.
So is that a thing in the Navy, right? It's like different color shirts on the flight
Yeah.
deck?
Yeah. So
means you're better than them other bitches?
yeah, I like to think red's the best, right? I
See,
mean,
we're learning,
Of course,
right?
you'd like to think.
it's
You wore it.
weapons,
Okay.
weapons department, or crash and salvage. Not crash and rescue, by the way. Crash and salvage.
Big difference.
Yeah, we're probably just looking for bodies.
So the purple shirts, we would refer to them as the grapes. They fuel. I mean, if you think of like
Oh,
you
fucking
go to the
fuel.
Getty and it's
Listen.
full service, that's what they do. They hook
Bruh.
up, they fuel.
That's every branch.
Yeah.
Fuelers,
Yeah.
fuel handlers, nothing but love for you out there. But you guys smell like JP all the time.
Yeah,
Every day, all day.
yeah. I think on a boat it's JP5.
Yeah, it's like
Right?
JP4, JP5.
I think it has something to do
yeah,
with like the melting
yeah.
point or
Yeah,
not
nobody
melting,
cares.
but- Yeah. Anyways,
Yep.
so so yellow shirts, they direct the pilots where to go.
They're the guys that are like,
Yeah. White
Weirdos.
white is safety. You just don't want to be anywhere around those guys. It's like OSHA. You just
That's
don't
so weird.
wanna-
it's like a utility business.
Nobody
no one
wants to
wants
be anywhere around the white guys. I don't understand.
around safety. I mean, the white guys.
Blue shirts. They would be the people that direct the planes underneath the flight deck. There's what's called the hangar.
So like trolls, they're not allowed out in the daylight.
Exactly, and I think they also drive the tractors that
The little tuggy things.
that push the planes around as well. And
Trolls.
then there's brown shirts, and they are the plane captains. They are usually with the
They
squadron.
swipe the poop deck.
I'm trying to think if there's any other shirts, but I don't think so.
So at some point in time, though, let me get back to the point that I was making. At some point in time, when you went to Great Lakes,
Great Lakes.
okay, you were Seaman,
Great mistakes. That's what they call
Seaman Dusty.
it.
There was a time.
Seaman recruit.
Okay.
Actually,
Oh,
I
even-
still remember
So
like
you
my
weren't a full
division.
seaman. You were
You
still,
didn't have a- you
were
didn't have a
still waiting
tail.
in the ball sack.
You didn't have a tail. You were
Yeah.
just the
Seaman
circle.
recruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But because of that college, I was a seaman apprentice. So I actually, I had a
So you
couple. I had a
apprenticed
couple.
to
I
the
passed a
seaman.
couple classes, so I
Okay.
got to come in as an E2.
Bravo!
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Wow.
Very
Yeah, I
nice.
never once did I get E1 pay. So
Not a big
Not
deal.
to brag.
Not a big
peasants.
deal. Peasants, peons, if you will, serfs.
My so I have one big question now because Bobby took my second one, which
let
is
me go
why the
first.
Navy. So besides rigorous masturbation and snuggling, what is it that you do on a ship?
Watched a lot of movies.
Okay.
Watched a lot of movies. There's a gym, I've been told.
Could never found it. Never found it. Carriers are big.
There's a couple galleys or cafeterias, places
Okay.
you can eat, and they're pretty much open 24 hours.
Are they really?
No Starbucks, no McDonald's. A lot of people think, oh, there's a Starbucks on a boat. Not true. Not
Okay,
true at all.
So
On the Carnival cruise ship that Bobby went on 2 years ago.
no, I will. We have a very very close personal friend of all of ours as well, who's a shipmate as we like to call it in the nautical world, right? You know,
shipmate's kind of like
derogatory term.
Yeah,
But,
that's like the
one of our good
call
buddies.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's why I call him shipmate all the time. What's up, shipmate?
Is that really bad?
So essentially, it's like, okay, if you're the E4 walking down the P-way, which is a hallway,
okay.
passageway, and let's say you just did something stupid, you would have some like E7 chief, and in the Navy, the chiefs run everything. You can have lieutenants, you can have commanders.
matter.
The chiefs run everything, and they'd be like, shipmate, and like it'll be the slowest turn. You're like, okay, what did I fuck up? What did I forget? What maintenance did I not do? Or who pooped where? Because that's the other thing. Is like
that's the top 3 things you think about?
pretty much.
Okay, that's
we
fair.
had the phantom shitter. You know the phantom shitter.
Yeah.
Across all branches. And you're just like, how did somebody poop? Like, there's no marks or anywhere. There's no handprints. And it looks like a clean pinch. How is it 8 feet up in an angle iron?
Wild.
Magic.
Wild.
So, yeah, so that's like what you would be thinking about. Like, oh, what do I need to clean because somebody shit there?
So I feel like the term, the Navy term shipmate is familiar, or like
More like shitmate, am I right?
equatable to our Army term of come here, high speed. Like
high
very,
speed, low drag.
Yeah, very,
yeah.
very, very firm. But anyway, one of our we digress. One of our very good friends, who's also a Navy man, sailor, if you were, was on a boat, not a carrier, but he mentioned to me all the time that their loadout for their boat would be Starbucks coffee, like in big giant bags. Now he may have been on a smaller vessel,
maybe they get better treatment.
and he
There's
did
5,500 of us. So.
Yeah, he was a like a welder or something, but he did like cross Atlantic trips. But he told me like they had Starbucks delivered.
Most of the
so I was
Navy
like,
will do some sort of a cross ocean trip. That's
sons of bitches.
literally what the Navy does.
Anyway,
Yeah.
is it okay?
Well,
yeah,
I'm
like on the
asshole.
ocean.
That's fine.
Yeah, you guys like to play in the water a lot?
Every once
Water
in a while.
sports,
Yeah,
water
you guys-
sports,
You guys like the water?
There's no problem with the water.
golden
Yeah.
I
showers.
don't see an issue.
I'm just
So-
regurgitating what I've heard. That's all.
I think I hijacked part of your question with the color. Of the
Oh, what do we
shirts.
do? So, like I said,
He remembers.
a lot of movies,
Okay, is it-
a lot of reading books, which,
Really?
yeah.
That was you?
Oh, I've read a ton of books.
Picture books?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, like real books. Mostly about like musicians, rock stars,
Yeah.
maybe some athletes and stuff like that. Just learning about other people, really. Yeah.
Really?
And then, like, once you get out of the ship, obviously, all the information that you learned is just, it goes away. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
based on what I've seen.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
What's the best book you've ever read? What's your favorite
The
book?
best book I've ever read in my life?
Yeah. What pops to mind when you say, "I read a book underway"?
The Belly Button book. Have you read that one? Oh, it wasn't underway. It's just something I read with my daughter. The Belly Button book. This tiny hippopotamus has something small to say, and if you're very quiet, he'll say it right away.
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm feeling it's
Oh, maybe.
it's fucking
Is that a newer thing?
it's a lyrical genius.
I don't know, but I mean, I could pretty much rattle the whole book off. But if I had to guess, or if I had to think, I liked Heroin Diaries, by Nikki Sixx.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty good book because essentially it was his diary when he was fucked up on heroin.
He did a little bit.
As you can imagine, there's some wild. Tommy Lee's book was pretty crazy because he would have like parts of it where it's just his dick talking.
Tommy Lee's an interesting cat.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Netflix
I haven't.
movie
There's
about? Oh, bro,
no.
there's a Netflix
Oh,
show.
The Dirt?
Yeah,
That's a great fucking
Netflix movie called The Dirt.
That's a book.
It's based
as well.
on, it's
Yeah,
based
but
on,
it's-
it's
based on that book.
that biography.
Okay.
It's amazing.
autobiography of
Yeah.
himself,
It's amazing.
It's fucking really good.
Yeah, you need to probably go home and watch
Okay,
that.
I'll do it tonight.
Yep.
Okay.
I want to report tomorrow.
Actually, you know what? Let's stop it. Go back and watch it.
Come back out. Okay, so you were in the Navy. You were in
Aviation
aviation
Ordnance, second class.
So an
That's
airman.
E5 right there.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Show some respect.
AO2 is what I'd be referred to as. AO2.
Not a petty officer, or is that
You,
like
so
the
you are a
official-
petty officer. So
You're just a
so
rank.
once you hit E4, you're a petty officer. Third class, E5, second class, E6 would be first class, and then you become a chief, and that's when you pretty much you get the blessing.
You don't wash
and
your coffee cup.
You don't. No, I don't think you wash your coffee cup.
Okay.
And like you have your own place to eat, and then
We're familiar with that. We've talked about
Yeah.
that too.
yeah, and that's when you just get to scream at people all the time.
So
I think that's what they do.
you spent
think.
4 years in the Navy, majority of it on aircraft carrier, right?
Both. I was only on an aircraft carrier.
I mean,
so
well, you did
two
your
different-
your basic training time, your aviation school at Pensacola, Florida.
Yes, Pensacola. Yeah.
I've been to Pensacola as well.
It's just a big trailer park, isn't it?
Pensacola NAS. Wow.
So
And the
yeah.
Naval Aviation Museum, which is
yeah, so I was on the USS Kitty Hawk in Yokosuka, Japan.
oh,
And then after that, I went to Norfolk, Virginia. Just a ton of great places.
Damn.
And I was on the
You saw the world,
Harry
huh?
S. Truman.
Yeah. Is that what the recruiter said when you were getting that free breakfast?
While I was in Japan, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but the boat I was on, we couldn't go anywhere. It was a conventional aircraft carrier. It was non-nuclear, so we
Cool.
had to fuel.
so literally had to go out 35 miles, come back, get gas.
Pretty much. So we wouldn't go anywhere, but we would just go to other countries and we would fly their dignitaries on, be like, hey, look what America can do. We can launch all these airplanes off an aircraft carrier and then watch, we'll break the speed of sound. And
we're
this is
done.
Cool.
And
yeah.
we're done.
And then we'd shuffle them back off to their country and move on. So we did that. Australia, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia.
Love Malaysia.
Trying to think of anywhere else. And I would just think that when you say you love Malaysia and I say I love Malaysia, like I spent 3 days there strictly partying. That was it. Like there was
Yeah.
no work I did in Malaysia.
Well,
Maybe
okay.
you might have probably
I
actually
did.
worked there as well.
I did. Well, but see, the greatest thing about like, I was an airman as well. I was an airman in the Air Force.
Okay.
And when I would go to Malaysia, I would go to do like combat search and rescue operations, and I'd go out into the jungle.
This is training or is this
This is
real
training.
stuff? Okay.
Okay, we go out and train with the Malays
Right.
up in the jungle by Thailand. But then when we were back, I was with all the fighter drivers, and all we did was party for fucking.
So you got
Yeah,
You
so
did
the Air Force, you do the mission out there, but you also they factor in time on the
Air
TDYs.
Force has to be back by 5 p.m.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, yeah,
They can't be out past when the lights turn on.
yeah.
The street lights.
So
Yeah,
I
good.
did have. So every place I've been with the Air Force in the Pacific, we had factored in time for partying, because part of nation building, like when you're working with those countries, is you have to drink with them or party with them.
yeah.
Whether it's the Aussies, the
the right thing to do.
Koreans, the Malays, the Singaporeans, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japanese. It's all factored in because everyone.
We never got that memo.
party.
We just partied.
Well, you
mostly
just showed up,
and spent
docked
a lot
your
of money.
docked your boat, and we're like, all right, we're getting off.
Open that tourist.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
That
so
tourist
what
boat.
would you say was your favorite port call
Has
while
to
you
be
were out there?
Australia.
Yeah, I had a blast in
I
Australia
mean,
too.
so I've been to 3 different places in Australia: Brisbane,
Mm-hmm.
I almost said Singapore, Brisbane, Sydney, and Perth. Perth being on the,
the other
west
side,
coast. I look at left. I'd go left, right versus east, west. But Perth is on the left side. Everything else is on the right side.
Sydney's a blast.
Sydney is a blast, and everyone's like, oh, Australians love Americans. It's mostly true. The men do not.
No,
There's a lot of fights.
Why?
A lot of fights
Because
the
they're
women.
us.
The women love Americans.
because the women outnumber the men 2-1 in Australia.
I did not know that.
And what's that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and so
Explains it,
that's
why
the,
I was so
that's the
attractive.
problem. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, and I've been to Sydney as well. I loved it. So Sydney is like the Los Angeles of Australia. It's super populated, ton of shit to do. It's
Right.
on the beach. It was a good time.
Oh yeah, yeah. And what do they call the party at King's Cross? Is that
King's Cross.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Australians, like to me, they're so American, with just a funny accent and a little bit more British in them.
Right, but they don't want to identify
Nope.
anywhere near like we're Americanized. Like,
Nope.
we're totally
Yep.
we're not you.
Nope.
We're
but
so
they
much better
love
than you.
barbecue, and they
do.
still have like the British style influence in their architecture.
Yeah.
But they rip fucking beers at lunch, and
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking American.
Just like Americans.
Yeah,
I rip beers at lunch all the time.
they're allowed to though.
Oh, that's a difference.
So that's good. I can see that as a
Yeah.
port call. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Johnny.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
All right, my last hard hitting question: how many times did you have to wear that Cracker Jack uniform?
So
And is there 13 buttons on the pants?
there's 100% 13 buttons on the pants. I can assure you of that. Some people would actually have them tailored though, so it'd be like one button or like zippered across.
Oh, like
Like
tearaways.
if you had the if you had the hookup, you know what I mean? Because otherwise, like trying to take a piss, have to do 13 buttons.
That's
That's
excessive.
problematic, especially if you gained weight, because like you can't just pull it down a little bit. You got to unbutton all three, and they're actually tied in the back. There's like laces.
Is that for the Marines or?
I don't know what that's.
Does that make it easier for them?
I don't know.
Access?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hairs.
Could be.
Right. Could be.
I never.
You never
that's it.
experienced that.
But yeah, so you would wear them like if we went to a friendly country like Australia, friendly like American, you know.
You heard it
or-
here. Dusty just called Australians Americans. You
An
heard it here
American
first.
friendly.
Heard it here
country.
first.
If you went to an American friendly country, then you know you could wear them out in town, and that was fun. You'd never come back with your cap there. I don't even remember what they call it.
Dog dish, the little bowl thing. Yeah.
The white hat.
Yeah.
You never came back with it,
Well,
or you came with like a kiss on it, depending on which bar, nightclubs, strip clubs you went to. It could, and then like even the Chiefs would be like, "Oh, okay, shipmate." Like, but that'd be like a friendly shipmate, not like a "come over here, shipmate." Somebody shit in the angle iron. But
Is that why those hats are so cheap? Because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like $4 at the
It's a quick
at
turnaround,
the
yeah.
NEX. They're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
turnaround.
you'd lose those, but.
you actually had like a stack of them, like Dixie cups. In the
That's what they call them, actually. They call them Dixie cups. Now you brought it back.
I think behind the boots needs to go to Australia.
I think it's
Behind the boots
yeah.
is Australia. Yeah,
Yeah,
you fuck yeah, you
absolutely.
can come.
I'll show you where I've been.
That's fine.
King's Cross.
I think that's what they did on the Navy ship. They just had all their hats in like a plastic sleeve. And
You
just,
take
like,
a cut. You
grab
take a
new
couple
one.
before you
It's
go.
as a
As
Spencer,
you're leaving,
like a couple
as you're
dispensers.
leaving,
Take one as you leave the
Yeah.
ship. Take
I'm
one
gonna
as you
grab
come back.
2 just to be safe.
Yeah.
I've been to this place
I'm
before.
looking to get some
Yeah,
pussy tonight. You gotta
so you'd
go
wear them
grab
there,
two.
and then when you'd pull back into like after deployment or whatever, I don't know if you've ever seen the pictures of like a ship pulling in, all the planes are gone, and it's called manning the rails, and the sailors are all lined up. And sometimes we'd even spell words. So like when we left Japan, we
Fuck you.
you know how like the class of 2003 or whatever, they have everybody spelled out on the football field like 03. We wrote sayonara to Japan. There's a picture of it. USS Kitty Hawk
You guys probably
sayonara.
spelled it wrong.
But did you spell it like how they pronounce it? Like
SAYO.
Yeah, he spelled it wrong for
Yeah.
sure.
Luckily, I wasn't in charge of that. I was like, yeah, I actually failed out of community college.
yeah, they're like, excuse me,
You
Dusty.
didn't know that was
You remember
possible?
that? You remember
It
that
is.
story? Yeah.
Like Dusty Dogs, can you get out here? We need you to organize everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so we'd wear it to
nice
spell
job,
stuff.
nice job, shipmate. So, well, good. So,
Yes, sir.
you want to roll here?
Let's roll.
All
I'm
right.
already rolling tit, so
Cool.
let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So, like I said, man, we're just gonna read a few stories. I
Okay.
want to
You got your natural reactions.
bring back the nostalgia.
Oh, yeah. I can't
Oh,
wait.
yeah.
This is
These are the things where, like, once you start talking about, like you said, Dixie Cup, it's like, oh, now I remember that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that
I can't tell you
I've
how much
lost
shit
in my
this has
mind.
jogged my memory of shit I've long forgotten.
and that's what we want you to do. We want you to just like be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, because
I
it
got a
kicks.
story about that.
It kicks stories loose. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's-
That's
Yeah.
what we want to do. All right. Story number one. I was on the USNS Comfort and was standing watch on the quarterdeck while we were docked in England. One of the merchant marines below decks was using a steam pipe or something along those lines as a ladder to get a hold of a higher pipe he was working on, and bent the pipe he was standing on, which then caused an automatic emergency dump of our bilge tanks to the starboard side, which then caused our ship to list, which I believe means tip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lean to one side.
Yeah,
I think.
could you say tip?
they
About
can't though. They can't say that. They have
That's
to
Port
be
side,
fucking
starboard
different.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking bow.
about 45
Fucking
degrees.
fantail.
This thing tipped 45 degrees, which is bananas. That's a lot. The chief and I had no idea what was going on. We just noticed that out of the hatch, the horizon was shrinking and the ground was growing. One of my shipmates at the time was goofing off in a wheelchair, which started to roll towards the hatch.
Well, it's because the Comfort is a hospital ship.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense now.
He jumped out and grabbed the chief's hand before he fell out of the hatch. We stayed that way for about 45 minutes to an hour before it could be fixed. People were essentially walking on the bulkheads to get places. No one could get on or off the ship for some time because it also bent the ladder that was being used to get to shore. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, to list or lean or however you want to look at it. That much, like that's.
degrees.
I don't know what kind of gallonage is that a word?
It is now.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. I don't know what
Just
kind
say
of
it's a Navy-
gallonage
just
that
say
would
it's a
take,
Navy
but
term.
for a
No one
boat
fucking
that
knows.
big, whew, you're talking about a lot of poop.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Into the
of
harbor.
poop. Oh, it's into the harbor.
Well, I mean, they were docked in England.
They said they dumped the bilges. They dumped everything into the.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
I
dumped
took
the bilge.
Oh, so Okay, that makes total sense to me. When you're reading it, I'm thinking that all of this is getting into the boat, and
Well,
that's what's
let me
creating-
back something up. Anytime John reads anything,
Yeah.
I have to like
He deciphers
Wait
it.
a
He said.
second.
I have to like I have to let it
Yeah.
filter, and then I have to ask questions.
I feel like I did pretty well on that. I was just reading the words.
The
on
way, the way you
page.
explain to me now it explains why it was listed. I was thinking that the boat was flooded,
So it's not
Oh,
just
no,
and
no,
that's what was creating.
and
I'm like,
completely
well,
dumped
that
it
takes
out.
a lot
Yeah,
of
dumped it
lot
out.
of liquid to do that.
Yeah.
Well, you're just like basically like
Right.
pushing everything out.
Yeah, whatever he bent, like completely just.
And those are big boats. The hospital
Oh, they're
ships
not
are
small.
are big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how big it is compared to like an aircraft carrier is 1,081 feet.
What is
I just
that?
want to drop that on you right there.
What is that in meters?
I don't know. USS Kitty Hawk 1,081 feet.
But,
I have a shirt that says it. That's how I know. But anyways, yeah, that's quite a bit of.
It's a lot of
tonnage.
shit. It's a lot
Yeah.
of shit. As if England was not shitty enough.
It's true.
Well, I've never been there. You guys have both been there.
Yeah, I've been to England.
You've been?
It's shitty.
Oh.
Yeah, it's well known. Food
I
sucks.
just
weather
envision
sucks,
it's like
people
a
are
crowded,
arrogant.
more crowded Seattle. And you're from that area, right?
I am.
crowded
Other side of
Seattle.
the state,
just-
but not a big deal.
I also heard Seattle sucks.
Yeah, I have as well.
Yeah,
And people-
I've said that.
He's actually said that.
Other than this little band called Pearl Jam, don't even know.
Pearl
Don't,
Jam,
don't even know.
Alice
Of
in
them.
Chains,
Heard Pro Jam's awesome.
Yeah, I've heard that
I'll
too.
call ya.
I've heard that too. Wow. So Johnny mentioned a whole lot of things in there that's foreign language to us.
Yeah.
Hatch, bilge, listing,
Yeah.
port, starboard, gangway. I don't know. Was some other something?
Gang bang.
Gangbang. Anyway,
Don't.
how long did it take you to learn that terminology before it like spit out?
A lot of things I still don't know.
I was gonna say it's pretty apparent.
just
that he
make it
doesn't know
up?
all of it.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff you use every day, pretty easy. You know, the P-way, like I said. So when you have door, what do you call it? I don't even remember what you call it, door. But
I know that's called a hatch.
yeah, there you go.
Weird.
Already. So
Yeah,
in order to
there's a story.
secure it,
I
they're
did that.
called
I did that
dogs.
for my research.
There's these little metal levers, and like each door.
You say dog to hatch?
Yeah, you would.
Oh, for real?
And that's what. So in the case of
Aye,
like
Captain.
Recruiters.
in the event that the ship is taking on water in certain places or attacked, you can pretty much close off a compartment, and it will stay buoyant,
Dude, that's what
and
they
you'll
did
have
with the Titanic.
and you'll have
I saw
oxygen.
it.
I also
film.
saw that in Pearl Harbor.
It didn't work though.
Great Ben Affleck movie.
Yeah,
Titanic
eventually-
sank. Do you guys know that?
Yeah, you know why? Because they didn't. They're
It was an iceberg, I think.
what was
I
it?
think
Hit
it was an
yeah.
iceberg.
They
yeah.
have these things called bulkheads.
They do. Yeah. That's
Well, the
wall.
bulkheads in the Titanic did not go all the way up.
They didn't. You're
And
right.
so the water went over the top of the bulkheads.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, a bulkhead needs to go all the way up
Right.
in order to keep certain compartments
Yeah.
buoyant.
To keep the integrity of the compartment, because every room is called a
But
compartment.
they probably saved like
birthing.
$10 on
Yeah.
metal and shit. So
It did.
Somebody probably got fired over that.
Well, or drowned.
Yeah, someone probably
Because
died.
everyone that designed it was on that boat. yeah. It's made. It's a great movie. You should watch
I'm
it.
gonna keep coming on the podcast just to learn stuff.
You
I'm
should.
pretty sure it sank because
Jack.
Jack and Rose
Yeah.
they had out of marriage sex,
Mm-hmm.
and God didn't like that, so He punished everybody.
It's true.
Well, that sounds like the military right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bad
everyone
apple.
gets punished. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad apple. And you cannot tell me that she didn't have enough space on that piece of
kidding
wood
me?
for
You kidding
fucking
me?
100%.
Jack.
Have you seen this stuff like on Facebook or whatever,
Yeah.
and they actually show his
Yeah.
body? And Leo or Jack, not a big guy,
Not a
I don't
huge
think.
guy.
Like definitely could have had room there.
Oh, yeah.
No, but I
Yeah.
think the other part of
She
it
was
was,
selfish.
I also think I've heard reverse side of it, that Jack realized he would have to spend the rest of his life with her.
And he was like,
And was
I'll
like,
probably
nope,
just freeze.
I'd rather just
yeah,
Davy Jones's locker.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm not insinuating that marriage is bad or anything like that.
"It's
However,
not great.
I mean, she was naked in that movie. She's not unattractive.
She's not terrible
Kate
to look
Winslet,
at."
right?
Yeah, back then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back in
That's like
'97,
Yeah.
90 how do you know?
97.
How do you know exactly when that?
because it was the first boob I ever saw on the big screen. my
and I was a
friends.
junior in high school, and so this is a funny story. I had to go to that movie 3 times in one day with 3 different girls and pretend I hadn't
There's
seen
not
it yet.
there's not
You
enough time in the
player.
day.
So like these girls.
There
There's
think-
not
is.
enough time in the day.
Saturday
long movie.
matinees. Saturday matinees.
It's like 18 hours of daytime.
Saturday matinees, my friend.
This man's playing chess and we're all playing
I
checkers.
know.
Yeah, and pretend I didn't see it. Pretend I wasn't crying the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Like, why are you already crying?
I don't know.
Popcorn, spicy.
It's preemptive tier.
Yeah. 97, junior in high school.
97.
True story.
Indeed.
And then I had it on VHS. It was double VHS, and then it was always the thing to put on to get the girls. That's really rapey.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Nope.
When my year of college, it was old school. I just put old school on all the time.
And that got the girls at community college?
It was community college. I mean, let's not forget, like this is community college. So old school, and I feel like there's another one. Anchorman. Oh, Anchorman.
Anchorman. I've quoted Anchorman for 17 years.
Yeah.
17 years.
Yeah, you can never stop. I mean, there's just so many good quotes from that. If you're at a pool, I'm 100% saying, I have a very important announcement to make.
Cannonball!
I'm announcing my cannonball every single time.
It is true. That is it's anything from that Vince Vaughn, Will Ferrell era is quotable, whether it's old school, Anchorman, like you said, even the Breakup, even though it's like a different genre, it's still
those Vince Vaughn movies are
great,
as well.
quotable movies. So
like we were talking about books a few moments ago, and the first thing that pops into my mind is Anchorman when he's talking about his mahogany
leather-bound
books. Like that's the first thing that that's how my mind works. It's just pretty much Will Ferrell on repeat. Yeah.
No, I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I was a big Top Gun too is another quotable movie since we're talking Navy.
Okay, so absolutely. We last episode I was gonna the hard part is to be honest with you here. It's tough doing these because I mean I feel like we can trust you. Like I'm
still on the fence.
You've seen behind the scenes of Behind the Boots.
Yeah.
And what's really going on, and the man hours we put in to bring quality man minutes that we put in to bring quality content to the listener.
Sounds so dirty for some reason.
And the research that we do, and when we wanted to do a nautical theme for this podcast, there's only so many nautical stories and Navy stories. And last week I did last episode I did the F-14 driver who had a brilliant breakdown of why to go to the Air Force or why to go to the Naval Academy, not going to the Air Force Academy. But Top Gun, I wanted to break it down and say, like, if you think of the Navy and you think of movies about the Navy, the first thing that comes to mind would be Top Gun, 100% of the time. I, though, think of a glorious movie called Down Periscope.
Never seen it.
I've also never seen it.
Is this like one of the satire?
It's hilarious.
Farce of the Penguins type thing?
Yes, but you need to watch it because it's Kelsey Grammer.
Okay.
Is the skipper of the boat.
He was like Frasier or something?
He was Frasier. Okay. He was in Cheers.
Yeah. It was a little bit before my time.
I know, but I think you would enjoy Down Periscope because the fine young lady who was in a classic called Dumb and Dumber is also in that movie.
Samsonite.
Yes.
The one going to Aspen?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She's in that movie as well, and she plays a Navy ensign, and hilarity ensues. Okay. But it's a good movie. But I think of that. But for you, how valid is Top Gun? Were you really high-fiving people when you loaded a bomb and that jet took off?
Well, as we discussed, the boat that I was on, not a lot of war activities going on. So the only thing we were bombing was like a bombing range in Guam.
Sake bombs?
Or off of the coast of Guam. We weren't bombing anybody, and we weren't.
The only thing you were bombing was those Australian chicks, am I right?
I was getting bombed.
Sake bombs!
Yeah. But... yeah, so not a lot of high fives to the pilots. Okay. No,
that even to each other, because I felt like the guys in the shirts were like, "Fuck yeah!"
I mean, a lot of napping.
We just sent that.
There's a lot of napping,
sleeping. Okay.
Yeah, because you work 12 hours on, 12 hours off for months straight. So you caught naps where you could. Magazines, where the bombs and missiles were. I'll tell you right now, an AGM-65 Maverick.
Missile. Heard about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So AGM, air to ground missile. There we go. AIM, like an AIM-9X or something like that.
No, some air to air.
Air intercept missile, AIM.
Yeah.
Those missiles were the best sleeping canister. They're nice and they're angled. you could, but like if somebody was a real asshole and they chained it down like they're supposed to, try sleeping on a fucking chain
If
in the
someone
middle
was
of
a
your
real
back.
dick and did their job,
Yeah,
You know what we call that on this podcast? We call that a buddy fucker or a blue falcon.
yeah, right.
or just someone doing their job. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, who's really gonna check?
Who's the
right?
prick who did it? Huh?
Yeah. So, yeah, we did a lot of sleeping, not a lot of high fiving.
Just
But-
be weird to randomly just high five each other for no reason.
Yeah,
You would
that's
need-
what I'm saying. Like, 'cause
would
you didn't
need an
actually do
event to
anything.
happen to high five.
Yeah, like if we played some sort of like a practical joke on somebody, or like we got that guy, or you got
Yeah,
got.
then yeah.
That was like
Then yeah,
that was the
wow.
term. Like, oh, you got.
You got
You
got,
got-
yeah.
Yeah. You know, if you really
Early
got
2000s,
somebody.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool points. Do you remember? Did you guys do cool points?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you did something,
You get cool
somebody was
points.
like, "Oh yeah, well, when I was in high school, I beat up the biggest baddest dude." You'd be like, "Oh, cool point for this guy." Like, whatever, loser.
How many cool points
You're all
did you
here
have?
with us now. Us aviation
Weird.
wardsmen.
Weird. We're all airmen.
Oh, you were cool in high school? Yeah, so were we. Look at us now.
Yeah. Second team all state. Not a big deal.
Always a big deal.
All right. I'm gonna give you this story. It actually
Give it to us.
it involves what I believe is an aircraft carrier because it sounds like there's some aircraft stuff going on. So
All right. So other ships do have aircraft.
Aviation,
but, yeah. The big ones, you know.
so this guy writes in. He says, "Had a guy convinced that a cat snuck aboard while we loaded supplies in Honolulu. Got the idea from VFA 22's actual smuggling of their mascot." Why? Go ahead. Tell
No,
me.
go ahead. Go ahead.
What are you typing?
Just go.
Because it's on
You wanna know
Reddit,
what
on the Reddit app on my phone.
VFA is
I'm
that?
just
Yeah.
wondering why he's reading from his phone when he has his
I
computer.
know.
wide
Don't worry
open.
about it. Listen.
Yeah.
They harp on me because I use a notebook. For a
He's
long
a
time.
different generation from us though, John. Like he,
So far.
yeah. Like I get his generation. It's like my parents' generation. I try to tell him,
Oh
hey,
shit!
I try to tell him like, hey, Waze will get you to the like here to there fastest,
like,
and they're like,
what's a
yeah,
Waze
but no, there's going to be traffic there. I go, well, no, actually there won't be. They're like, how do you know that? I'm like, because my phone's literally telling me that there's no traffic if you go the way you want to go.
Listen.
Next thing you know, we're waiting 20 minutes in traffic. I'm like,
That
okay,
phone
told you.
can't tell that. The phone can't tell that.
Exactly. Anyways, that's Bobby. He's like, why would I do it on my computer if I have it on my phone?
Are we done, or can I?
Guys, I printed the directions out on MapQuest. So we're fine.
I did. Anyway, I don't even want to finish now. Anyway, so they smuggled a cat on board, right? Got the idea from VFA, which I believe is an attack aircraft squadron.
It is. Does the V stand for ver? I don't know.
I don't think it's vertical. I think that's just like a weird thing. to
Vagina.
do. VFA 22's
okay, yeah, continue.
actual smuggling of their mascot, a rooster named Romeo, aboard the Vincent's 1998-1999 deployment. Cat was supposed to be living in one of their storerooms. As the editor of the ship's paper, I saw. You guys have papers on your boat?
Yeah, actually we do. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
As the editor of the ship's paper, I
There's
signed.
Sudoku on it.
There's what?
Sudoku.
Oh.
Is that what they call it? Sudoku.
Sudoku.
Yeah.
Yeah. As the editor of the ship's paper, I signed him to go get a story with the focus about the cat, and it posed no health risk to the crew and the talk to supply medical. Of course, he came back empty-handed. Nobody knows anything about a cat. I replied, fucking bastards. They're trying to cover their asses. Let me talk to some of the people and see what they can come up with. A couple of days later, I told him to forget the story because the cat starved to death, and now it was a real no-shit cover-up. I knew I had succeeded when two things happened. I heard some guys a couple tables over at the mess deck talking about the dead cat that was found in the storeroom. And when my senior chief confronted me, asking if I had anything to do with one of the supply chiefs getting called into the suppos office.
Supply officer.
Okay. Supply officer's office about a dead cat. So
That's legendary. So it is an aircraft carrier, confirmed. Carl Vincent, USS Carl Vincent. But that's awesome because you could absolutely pull that off. I mean, there's so many places on an aircraft carrier that
hide a dead
something
cat.
could hide because I would hide in them, like to get away from work. They called it skating. I was the best. You guys have seen me on the ice.
Legendary.
Yeah, nothing too graceful. When it came to getting out of work, I was up there with
So,
this is a guy
the
who
Wayne
was,
Gretzky's.
This is a guy who was a minus player in a 12-4 victory.
It's not even
12
it's-
to 2.
Statistically,
12 to 2.
victory.
statistically, it's not even possible.
not
but I
possible.
somehow figured it out.
He was
Yeah,
there.
he was there.
But the craziest part is John was my defensive partner, and he was like a +9. It doesn't even
I
make
scored
sense.
like 5 goals that game.
because he doesn't come off the ice.
That's true.
Yeah, it was the whole time. That's not how you're supposed to play.
What's funny is I was definitely the only even strength player on the opposite team.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, but I thought
I
that's
was
how it
like,
works.
go ahead,
Like,
go ahead.
He
You guys
didn't
are out.
get out on the ice.
I know.
I just keep playing, and then they rotate people around me.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Exactly. What I find funny about that is what you mentioned. What you call it, skating in the Navy.
Yeah.
In the Air Force, they called it skirving.
Okay.
In the Army, they called it shamming.
Shamming.
Because when you become an E4 in the Army, you become a specialist and you get a shield as your rank.
Okay, I've
and they
seen
call that the sham shield because E4s are the best. We've done whole segments on it on the E4 Mafia.
Yeah.
So
As you've heard.
Yeah. In the Navy, it's a little bit different. I would maybe argue that it's the E5 Mafia only because E4 in the Navy, you're still kind of grouped as like you're a peasant.
Trash.
And then E5 is kind of like where you start having people that you will have under you, or not command, but whatever.
supervise.
Yeah, supervise.
First line
So
supervisor.
I did that once. They put me in charge. I was in charge of a magazine, which is not like the book.
No, it's like a place where you keep ammunition.
Yeah, so you'd have like 6
Which
or
is fucking scary.
right.
Yeah.
That A, I know that, and that B, that he was in charge of
It was only in port though, and all we did is paint. So
They,
Got it going on.
They knew your limits, basically.
so they put me in charge of the magazine, and then this other E5 comes in, like new. I'd maybe done there for like 2 months. Everybody knew at this point, like I was getting out of the military. I had like maybe 8 months left, and I was
You didn't
just
give a fuck.
I didn't give a fuck. So this new guy comes in, and he's a hard charger. I don't know if you guys hard
do,
chargers.
oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So he's a hard charger. He comes up to me. He goes, "So have you got the lay of the land yet? Who's who you can trust? Who you can put in charge of stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know."
I've got the look of that. Yeah. Not
He,
me.
he goes, yeah. He goes, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to come in here the rest of the week, kind of figure it out, and then on Monday I'm going to come down and drop the hammer on him. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be in my magazine, just leave the hammer, get the hammer away from me. Like,
You should have a hammer in here, dude. There's bombs.
we're just painting. What are you doing with a hammer, guy?
What are you doing?
So,
You're doing the wrong branch, my friend. Like what?
so next thing you know, I was no longer in charge of a magazine, and they put me in security. Yeah.
Even better.
What that sounds? Yeah. What?
Oh, you just stand at an ECP, entry control point,
okay.
and you just stand there checking IDs, and that pretty much that was the
sounds
rest
about
of
your
my
speed.
naval career. Yeah,
Pretty solid.
yeah.
Follow-up question. Did you ever get to blow the whistle?
No, only bosuns do that. Bosuns mates, the BMs.
What is that?
They're the people that
Bowel movement?
they do a lot of painting all the time. They paint the whole boat,
By
everything.
themselves? Just one guy.
There's a whole bunch of them.
Just one guy.
There's
Just
a whole
I
now.
just picture one guy in a roller.
Now there's pretty much like there's 2 rates on a boat that you just don't mess with, and not tooting my own horn, but aviation ordnance, one of them, big time drinkers, a lot of fighting, and then the bosun's mates. They are the toughest bastards on a boat.
Would you say that's like the quintessential sailor is a bosun's mate?
100%.
yeah.
Like these are the guys that have the anchor tattoos,
Yeah,
Popeye tattoos, what
yeah,
have you.
the Sailor
They
Jerry
tie all the
girl
knots.
tattoos, yeah.
I mean, like they're tough
tie all the
bastards.
knots.
Never heard
That's
anyone
how you know
called
they're
tough.
badass.
It's like, dude, this
Hey,
guy can
dude.
tie 75 knots.
Yeah.
Listen.
Toughest motherfucker.
Dude,
this
there's
side
dude,
of he's
hold
trying
on.
to see.
Hold on, there's only 73 knots. No,
I know.
Exactly.
They tie them all, but they also blow the whistle, which also you don't think like a tough guy blowing
Tough
the whistle.
motherfucker.
Yeah, you don't think so.
It's a big whistle.
But
guys.
those bosun's mates typically tough guys. You don't want to mess with them. So they're deck department, and I think that part of the reason why they're so tough is because that is the bottom rate. Like pretty much, when I was talking about the
Troublemakers?
ASVAB, like
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
They're the
you-
troublemakers.
once-
They're like, you can get in the Navy.
those are
just
the ones
being in the Navy.
One
Those are the
step
ones like
above
you can
Marine.
go to prison or you can join the military. And they're also the people that if you go in as an undesignated, you don't have a job yet. If you're the guy that signs your recruiter somehow signed you up for that, you go in to deck department. So we're not dealing with a lot of smarts unless it comes to knots. Then they're pretty smart.
unless
the knots.
unless it's not, then they're
Yes.
the Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
The Albert Einstein.
They're not smart.
Oh, but they are not smart.
Yeah, with a K.
With a
No
K.
big deal. Wow, fascinating. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Listen, man. We've uncovered a couple of Navy stories, but it's one thing to read the stories. It's another thing to live the stories. We want to know what one of your best stories is.
Oh, I feel like you've told them all.
On the high seas. I really fucking hope not, because you're here, and let's deliver.
Did I tell you the Guam? Did you guys do the Guam story? Did I tell you about Guam?
Go on. Was this Criffy from Hoofton?
No, that was Hawaii. So,
Was this the Cheetos?
nope, that was in Japan.
Okay.
If you just give me a story, I'll tell you which Pacific country it was in. But there was one in Guam, and this is probably not my proudest moment.
Go on.
Right.
Your name will be changed to save.
I appreciate that.
innocence.
Face too. You said you could blur it out.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
listen, that face is already.
And then we do like the voice thing too.
Yeah.
You know, like they do on the drug shows.
We do James Earl Jones. Is
Yeah,
that cool?
that'd be great. Yeah.
So I was in Guam, and
Yeah, so one of our visits that we'd always make in Japan before we'd go anywhere was to Guam.
Everyone goes to Guam.
Right.
It's there.
Right, and it's where America's Days starts. I don't know if you knew that, but it's on the other side of the international date line, so it's literally like before America's morning. It's morning there. Anyways, so
Big brain on Brad over
know.
here.
how you feel about that? So we go to Guam, and all you can do is drink there. I mean, it's like, I don't know, maybe 40 miles. All you can do is drink. So we get absolutely annihilated. I remember walking, and I'm young at this time. I think I'm 20, maybe 20.
oh, stud.
Yeah. And
Specimen.
and when you think you can drink it, like when you're 20, you know what I mean? Like you're done,
can't.
you know, and you drink as much as you possibly can. There's no rhyme or reason.
As
Like,
fast as you possibly
like
can.
nowadays, like, I'll have 2 beers over a couple hours, maybe a third one.
Yeah.
And I'll be good to go. Anyways, we get absolutely annihilated. I remember being at the Hard Rock there. One of my buddies is like, what's a shot of Patron? They're like $30. He's like,
What the fuck?
We'll take 6. And we that's how our night started. Because you're on a boat. You're not spending any money. So you get to a port and you're just spending money like crazy. So we just get. And I remember at a certain point walking across the street, and the CMC, the command master chief, it's your highest enlisted person, sees me, and he looks to my buddies who are holding me up, and he's like, is that shipmate going to be okay? We're like, nope, he's going to be all set. We're going to get him back to his hotel. He'll be fine. I do make it back to the hotel. I sleep on the floor, and I wake up at daylight, sometime at daylight, not early. But I wake up, and my buddy, he's like, you shit yourself. I'm like, what do you mean I shit? I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, you got to play it cool, right? You're not just be like, oh shit, look at that, I shit myself. No, I shit myself.
Why would you look at that? There is poo in my pants.
You don't say.
So I wake up and I'm like, wow, I have a load of poop in my pants. What the hell do I do now? You know, we've all been in those situations like, okay, now what the
Who
now
put
what do
that
I do?
there?
Well, now what?
You know? So I hop in the shower fully clothed, and I'm just like, I remember there's this shit in the shower. And I don't remember what I used, probably like an ice, you know, one of those ice holders there in a hotel or whatever.
Waffle stomping that.
Yeah, and I'm putting it through, just trying.
Waffle
That
stomping.
smelled so bad. I don't even know if I had to change of clothes or if I just waited it out, washed it. I don't know, but it was about a 45-minute trip back to like via bus back to the ship where you slept. you know, on a normal night. And I remember I got a peach tea from whatever place I could even see that was open. I drank that thing like so slowly, and I would just puke. I would take a sip, I would puke. I'd take a sip, I would puke. I've never been so drunk. Alcohol poisoning, alcohol death.
Yeah, that's like very close.
Yeah, like that was probably so there was a short period of time there where I was like, you know, I was poopy pants. Like Dusty Poopy Pants.
Dusty Poopy.
So that was tough to get through. Luckily, this is kind of before social media. Like it was, like MySpace was a thing, but it wasn't really a Facebook thing yet. So,
Right, so
it
you
didn't really
didn't
take
post
off.
everything. Yeah.
No one else
Right.
posted you being
That's it.
Dusty Poopy Pants.
I've
Yeah.
been in a lot of drunken states. I've never been shit your pants drunk.
It's a whole nother level. I've never been back there. I'm happy to report, But I know you guys talk about shit quite a bit on
We have a whole
the
segment
podcast,
about it.
but
We do have a whole segment about it too. Actually.
yeah, that's one thing that definitely happened. There's another one I was thinking. It's not that great, but my family gets a kick out of this. I was drunk. It was the day before a deployment.
And that's the story. His family gets
I was
kicked out of
drunk.
it.
It was the day before a deployment, and we had phone cards. We didn't have cell phones in Japan at that time. We had phone cards, and
Just go to a payphone.
yeah, you'd go to a payphone, and so I get shit faced out in town. I think I had to be back to the boat for 1600, 4 p.m. whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'll call home. So this is like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning back home on the East Coast, so you're in Japan. And I call my parents and like, this is going on. Yeah, I'm getting deployed. I won't see you for a while. Won't hear. We didn't have phones or anything on the boat. It was just
Going to
emails.
war.
So yeah, right. So and I'm just so hungry. Sometimes when you're so drunk that all you need is just food, right? The roach coach at this point is
Taliban
already
tacos.
gone.
I'd go for it right now.
The roach coach is gone at this point. Taliban Tacos isn't open because it's 4 p.m. This is before. But I got annihilated because I didn't have to go to work till the next day. And I'm just like, I'm so hungry. What could I possibly fucking eat? There's nothing to eat. Out of nowhere, there was a cheeseburger just laying in the phone booth next to me.
It just appeared.
It was half eaten.
Listen,
It was a half-eaten cheeseburger. There was a McDonald's on base.
Neptune has provided for him.
That's fair.
You don't ask when you're that drunk and you're that hungry.
Like,
You don't ask questions, and you're not going to have normal food again for a long time.
Yeah.
So I went over and I just ate it. I don't know who ate the other half. I don't know how long it was there for.
And-
I needed that cheeseburger. It fulfilled me, and I ate it.
And honestly, dude, like,
Satisfied
if
his
we're being
needs.
completely honest with ourselves, a half-eaten McDonald's cheeseburger probably isn't that much more dirty than a regular wrapped up McDonald's cheeseburger. So I think
Most
you're
likely,
fine.
Yeah.
Right, and that actually brings me to like another gross thing about the Navy. You know how like during COVID, everybody's like, oh, if you've done this, you don't have to worry about, you'll never get COVID. Like if you ate this wherever, like you'll never get COVID because you're immune to
half-eaten
it.
cheeseburger on a
In
phone
the
booth
Navy,
in Prescott, Japan.
The showers on the Kitty Hawk, the Kitty Hawk was commissioned in like 61, so it's an old boat. Engineering's not probably at its finest. You'd have 5 showers lined up, okay? And each shower didn't have its own drain. The shower at the end had its own drain.
Oh, so you're standing in people's piss and shit?
Everything.
So that's like
Every-
They jerk off and
That's
shit, I
that's
bet.
like the Burbank and Reading.
So you want to be at the
Flooded.
one furthest away from the drain.
Exactly. And if you're the guy that's all the way down the other one, like, yeah, you're like my feet like
Your feet are COVID-free for sure.
oh, like I can't get athlete's foot. Like I can't get any of
He's
that
tried.
stuff.
He's tried.
Which is actually crazy.
Rubbed
'cause
it on there. He
My
can't
feet
get
are
it.
my feet are perfect. They're like really soft, well moisturized. I'm not kidding.
And
I've
he
been
doesn't
told
do
this.
anything. He just,
I've been told
he
this.
just wakes up in the morning.
Yeah,
Wow.
What do you mean you've been? Who tells you that?
my wife.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Listen, ladies, this guy's taken. Okay, this specimen
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
taken.
I know at this point in the show, you're like,
Yeah.
is that guy married?
Is that
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
single?
That guy that pooped himself?
Yes, he
ate the
is.
half-eaten
He
cheeseburger.
found an angel,
Yeah.
a mermaid. Like it's, he's taken. You
Yeah.
can't. Sorry, ladies. Sorry. Dusty Dawgs is spoken for.
There goes our female listener.
I know. And
The one.
Yeah, the one.
The one.
And the thing is that not only is he spoken for, but like, bless her heart. Like good for her.
Yeah.
Specimen, a catch.
Good for her?
Yeah, catch. With guys' feet like that,
That's true. When
I
you
mean,
get feet like that,
the guy's a
does
model.
anything else matter?
Yeah.
So, we like to finish the podcast
On the chest.
as is tradition. But
Go
Yeah.
on.
we,
What were you
go
gonna
on.
say?
We like to finish the podcast with a segment called Mail Call. And I'm sure you're familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
Where we read stories from the listener who writes in.
Same one.
It's Chucko. However, Chucko was not in the Navy, so I reached out to a friend of ours, Mac Daddy, who was also a
I
sailor.
believe I'm familiar with him.
Mac
Yep.
Daddy Flex.
Yep, Mac Daddy
We
Flex.
follow each other on Peloton.
Yeah.
That was an unnecessary piece of information. But,
I gotta. So
But he
listen,
does too.
I do too, but this is a funny story.
do you guys follow Slam and Banana?
You're on Peloton?
Yeah, damn Slam and Banana.
Who's the other guy that's deliver gas then?
Deliver
that
gas?
was you.
I'm a gas guy. He's an electric
I'm
guy.
electric.
I don't know the difference.
But anyway, this funny story is Mac was like, dude, yeah, follow me on Peloton. I'm like, okay, cool, dude, I will.
Who says that?
Mac does.
I would say no.
No, it's Mac.
I
know, but I would
actually do
still
too.
say
If
no.
I find out someone's a Peloton, I'm like, what's your leaderboard name?
Yeah.
And then
You do follow Slam and Banana, dude.
okay,
You
probably.
have to.
I might, yeah.
Because
So-
you mentioned something about my one workout that I did.
His one ride.
I did one ride.
That's all I need, one ride.
The first one I ever did, I've done 4.
Who was it with?
It was nobody. It was just like one of those ones to the beach or whatever, and I didn't know how
Why?
to fucking turn it off.
Lame.
Because I didn't know how to use
worst.
it. I didn't know how to fucking use it. So I didn't know how to turn it off. So I was like, I guess I'll just leave it here and let it go. And I burned 1 calorie in a fucking 1 hour ride through the beach. That
That's
I
not
wasn't
even possible.
But I wasn't even because I just left. I just left the room.
Okay.
I just left
Yeah.
the room.
So Mac was like, follow me. And then like if I'm riding, like, like we'll ride together.
I think you can even pop video up. I haven't done it yet, but
That's what I get to.
Oh, really?
So all of a
You guys
sudden
can do it together.
yeah, so all of a sudden
You
I'm
know, the
doing a
three of us
ride.
could do this.
I'm doing
I
no
gotta
big
use
deal.
Peloton more.
No big deal. Mac's riding. He's like, dude, call me. So I call Mac. He's like full maxed out on the Peloton, no shirt on, fucking gold chain fucking swinging, sweat flying. Mac's like, what's up, dude? How's it going? He goes,
Why?
where are you at? I'm like,
Why gold chain?
that's Mac, dude. He's a fucking Jersey
he's a
boy.
stud.
He's a Jersey boy, dude. They
I
all
told you
wear
last night
gold
I'm not a
chain.
chain guy.
You're not a chain guy.
Yeah.
He is.
He hates chain
There's
guys.
a guy last night we were playing hockey against. He was wearing a chain, and they're like, "What do you not like about him?" I was like, "His chain. I just don't
Yeah.
like. I'm not a chain
Which
guy."
is very fair assessment. It was
It is assessment.
rather
However,
thick.
you got to remember,
Rather thick
Mac is
silver
from New
chain.
Jersey,
Yeah.
so he's not allowed to leave New Jersey without
chain.
a chain because it
Right.
shows him where to stop shaving
Right.
during the day. It's
Yeah.
it's a chain. I'm done. Okay,
Yeah.
so like that's how they do it. Anyway,
New Jersey.
anyway, so I reached out. I was like, Mac, I need a story, man, because you're a sailor as well, and he had some pretty funny.
What did he do? Do you know? Was he a
He was a-
corpsman or something?
No, he was a welder.
Oh, okay.
But he was also like he did like submarine repair in Hawaii, but he was
Yeah.
underway on boats doing welding, like fixing
Yeah,
stuff.
probably a hull tech, I believe. Is what
Yeah.
they call him. I'll have to ask.
So I asked him. I said, "Hey man, I need a story. I need something funny." He's given us some stories in the past. I was like, "I need something quick off your head." So he did this text to
Oh yeah.
talk to text.
Right.
Not
So-
text to talk.
Yeah,
That
not
does-
text to
that
talk. That's a
doesn't
big
make any
difference.
sense.
Because it'd be like, so I was underway. That's the talk to text. Anyway, so here he goes. He got the story, right? He says, my first overseas port visit was to Scotland. 18 years old, fresh in the Navy. Go out into a town called Fastlane to a sub base where my ship pulled in. So I have to kind of decipher this because he was talk to text.
Right.
So he says, so we go out all day in Edinburgh, and of course, because I can now legally drink, because they're in the United Kingdom, I started to start drinking at 8 a.m., doing Irish car bombs at a bar breakfast place, as a tradition.
That's such an 18-year-old
I
thing
know.
to do.
Respect.
Yep. The entire day passes and just nothing but drinking. And so much sightseeing, I really didn't care about sightseeing, even though Edinburgh and its amazing city, and we get back around 8 o'clock at night. So he's been drinking since 8 a.m.
Yeah.
He's 18, and he's in Scotland.
Par for course.
Yeah, and the drinks there are a little bit more octaned than they are here,
Bunch of watered down shit is what we have here.
Exactly. He goes, so we get back around 8 o'clock. This is also the Navy. We didn't have curfews. So he said, so closer to the ship, of course, we had a really good crew. And with me, everybody was probably blackout drunk by noon. So he said, at this point now it's 9 p.m. and we're in a bar drinking with Scottish Navy guys, which is not a good idea. And I introduced one of my buddies, as he's from Texas and has never had a car bomb before. He says, of course, he thoroughly enjoyed it. He enjoyed it so much, he decided to order 6 more for me and him.
What the fuck?
He's gonna end up pooping himself.
Yeah,
That's where this
well-
story goes.
Yeah,
It
he's
goes a
gonna have
little
some
different.
shit pants.
He goes, at this point, I could barely speak my own name, and the next thing I know, I slam 3 car bombs, and I'm absolutely wrecked. I go to the bathroom, and immediately when I walk in, it's just one of those giant trough urinals, and I can't hold my booze. So I throw up all over the entire bathroom and the urinal, and go and take a piss and carry on with my way. As I was about to walk out of the bathroom, some Scottish sailor walks in and goes, "Oh fuck, what the hell happened in here?" He said, and I said, "I have no clue, just walked in here to take a piss, and this is what I saw." He says, "I took off as fast as I can."
He didn't even own it.
Yeah, I would have owned it. I mean, like, yep,
Yeah.
not a big deal.
It's,
Yeah, my only
You can
thought is you don't
rally.
want to get tossed out of the place, for,
No.
you know. So you gotta. I would blame a friend,
Yeah.
not a friend. I would blame somebody that I didn't like.
Yeah,
that would be
I've actually done the same thing, but in a bar in Korea, in a urinal, and I filled the urinal with vomit, and immediately grabbed my buddy as we're going out. Like, we gotta go right fucking now,
Yeah.
because they will call the MPs real quick.
Yeah,
and they'll come
same
and
thing with
interview.
the shore patrol as you referenced. Yeah.
It's funny that it was Irish car bombs. I was deployed in 2010, 2011, and I actually got called back for a court case for a rape allegation that happened when I was in AIT in 2007.
Was it you?
No, I was not raped.
Oh, okay. You
that
didn't make the
that I
allegation?
know of.
Okay.
I was just like a witness
Oh, okay.
because I gave them too much information on the phone, which don't do.
Testimony.
If anyone ever calls you asking about something, just be like, I don't remember. And
Ice-T
then they'll
got
leave
you.
alone.
Ice-T got you from SVU.
Yeah, then they-
You spilled the beans.
Listen, man. All right. But no. So I gave them too much information. Like, well, you could actually be of use to us. So they fucking flew me back. I actually missed part of my R&R because of this shit. But I got to. The good thing about it was I got to like rekindle some old friendships with people that I went to training with, and we went out to a bar and we were doing Irish car bombs, and we did. I don't even know how many we did. Whatever, more than one is too many. Anyways, guys, if you're listening, if you're doing more than one Irish car bomb, rethink your fucking decisions in life because it's
Start the night with that, and then
yeah.
gradually
start the
taper
night with
down.
one, and then
I'm a Jaeger bomb guy,
say
but
what-
I like car bomb too. Yeah.
yeah, but it's
Yeah,
very
but Jaeger,
thick, dude.
Jaeger bomb
Yeah.
is
So
is
thick.
Red Bull and
Jägermeister.
Jaeger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that car bomb is beer and JMO.
Yeah.
And a little bit of Bailey's,
Yeah,
right?
a little bit of
Guinness.
Baileys.
Guinness
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
like thick.
Oh, I love Guinness though. Motor oil. I
So
call it.
I'm
do too.
so I'm fucking hammered, right?
30 weight.
And this bar's and I'm gonna throw up, like 100%. I'm gonna throw up, and I'm trying to find a place to throw up, and I didn't want to do it in the bathrooms because people are in and out and all this shit. So I'm looking for some shit, and finally I see like the way back of the bar where it looks like there is usually like a music venue. So I keep walking back, and then I look to a door which goes to outside, which is another outdoor venue, and I see a bunch of porta potties, and I'm like, fucking jackpot. So I go in the
Jackpot.
I go in the porta potty. I'm fucking throwing up like hardcore, and I walk out. I'm feeling really fucking good at this point. Like I just expelled all the demons. Like I'm feeling
Oh yeah,
great.
puke and rally.
Yeah. Some waitress comes up. She's like, are you okay? Because I'm like the only one back there. I'm not supposed to be back there. And I was like, yeah, fine. I just had to take a piss. She's like, okay. I don't get paid enough for this, so I'm going to go back inside and hopefully not get raped. Irish car bombs, though.
Yeah.
Shit.
Mazel tov.
You could fit a huge
Ton of
Irish
it.
car bomb.
Oh yeah.
That would be an Irish Mack truck bomb.
Yeah.
Moab.
Yeah.
And this,
Moab.
yeah.
Ik Bab.
Yeah.
Irish bomb of all bombs. Anyway, so after mail call, that's it, man. That's episode 25. You just
That is
sat
it, man.
through an entire.
What am I
the
gonna What am I
Boots
gonna
podcast.
listen to
Sit
now
through,
though?
exactly.
Like this
You didn't
week.
sit through. The good news is, I usually forget what we talk about day after.
100%.
So when I listen to it, the following, whenever it airs,
drops. You don't even know.
it's like I'm listening to it for the first time.
It's a good point.
I'm hoping that's the same for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what I even spoke about and what my esteemed colleague talked about.
Yeah.
But,
And I also forget everything.
but listen, before we go on, thank you so much for coming on.
man.
Absolutely.
It's been a
The
pleasure.
man of legend.
The man of legend.
He's with us.
Dusty
I feel like I
Dawgs.
could go on for hours too. There's so many more that like just.
That's the thing, right? The story
like,
just
now
creates
it's-
things. You're like, oh,
now
fuck, I
you-
forgot about
yeah.
that. I forgot about that.
Exactly.
that. Oh,
I
yeah,
forgot
right,
about
yeah.
that. And I mean, I definitely think that, we'll have you back on.
like
Maybe we'll tailor it down a little bit and, let you talk a little bit more about the crazy stuff you did in the Navy.
Yeah.
Not more like the work stuff like you mentioned this time.
Regular
Like,
stuff, like
yeah.
painting stuff.
yeah, but
I got fired from that.
well,
They gave me a gun instead.
weird.
But I'll tell you guys what. If you want to be like Dusty Dawgs, and you want to get your stories read on here, and if your stories are good enough, which he sent us a lot that were, and you want to be a guest on here, eventually maybe, you can start by submitting your goddamn fucking stories to wilcomediapro.com/BTB podcast. And you can do it right there.
Yeah, and literally it says right there, write shit here.
Yeah.
You write shit there. Dusty's done it.
I
It's
wrote-
that
I
easy.
wrote shit there.
It's that easy. And remember,
Yeah.
this is a guy who took a job in the Navy that required the minimalist score in the ASVAB. Not him. He scored high. Could have done
Exactly.
everything he wanted,
But this is-
minus
Anything.
astronaut.
Anything.
But
Think about how dumb this is to score so high on the ASVAB, but still pick a job where you didn't really have to score high at all.
Made rank pretty quick though. Surrounded by idiots.
I guess.
it's true.
I guess.
Yeah, but it's like on Spaceballs, surrounded by a bunch of assholes. Like, who made that guy a gunner? I did, sir. He's my cousin. So it's, I mean, yeah. So thank you to all our listener out there.
Yes. Thank you, all person.
All person, for listening in, tuning in, and listening and laughing with us. As always, Big Dick Nick, bro.
Huge dick.
I know you laughed at this episode because I could hear you back there. So thank you for what you do, making us sound amazing. Thanks for the whole Wilco Media crew.
Yes, sir.
And listen, like, subscribe, please share with your friends.
Yeah.
Dusty, you're a perfect example of it, right? You listen to us idiots talk weekly, and
I
you
feel
text
like
me.
I feel like you guys are talking to me. I when I do go to that place called the gym, I'm on the Stairmaster, and I will be.
That's weird because I think about you every time I talk.
On the Stairmaster, which is what,
I am just on there, and I'm like, they're telling the story. Oh, this is hilarious. I already know what's happening, but I just
Go
laugh
on.
because I hear
Yeah.
you guys cackling at the stupid stories.
Exactly.
they're not stupid, listener. Your stories are not stupid.
But yeah. But the best thing you can do, honestly, and not even for us, for you guys, is to subscribe and like. You can do that to our YouTube page, Wilco Media. You can subscribe and like to anywhere you find podcasts.
Apple,
And
Spotify, YouTube,
yep.
the others.
And
Pornhub.
the more you like, the more we can do, and the more we can give you a better experience for your ear holes. So keep doing it, and we'll keep doing this.
Yeah, because I mean, what the fuck?
What the fuck else am I gonna do?
If you want us to stop, pay us. Okay, I'm just saying.
Or if you want to keep going, pay us.
Yeah, it's weird how it works like that. But episode 25 in the books. We appreciate Dusty Dawgs for jumping on and joining us.
We'll
Thank
see you next week.
so much. Next week. And you were a cop?
Time to piss.
We didn't get into those
Yeah.
stories.
I gotta piss so bad, dude.
Yeah, but they just.
Huh?
Did you interview and they were like, "Yeah, you're cop
You're in."
material"? Is that what happened?
What's that?
Did you just interview and they're like, "This is the guy"?
I had a lot of connections.
No, did you?